Hey guys, today we're just going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A session, if that's what you want to call it. I left a little box on my Instagram story for you to leave questions that you'd have, concerns, whatever, really, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take the time today, answer them little by little, see if we can get anywhere with it. So, hope you enjoy this video. If you'd like to sit through all of it, I'd very much appreciate it. Thank you. So the first question we have is what was my first introduction to comic books? I think my first introduction to comic books was when I was like 11, I believe, if I remember correctly, and it was free comic book day. We had just dropped off my mother early in the morning off her work, and we saw this little local comic book shop saying that we could collect free comic books. So it wasn't a very particularly good comic book, but it was still the one comic book that first got me into the whole comic book universe, I guess, if that's what you want to refer to it as. And yeah, I thought that was really cool. I still remember it to this day. I'm fairly certain it was a Captain America comic book, and I think on the side of that it was also a Guardians of the Galaxy comic book. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. Second question is, what is my favorite MCU or DC movie show? DC hasn't exactly put up the best stuff recently, but if I had to say anything, it'd definitely be either Shazam, because of how funny it is and how creative they managed to get with the direction of the character. And for MCU, I believe my best projects recently, at least, is for sure Moon Knight, because the MCU is for sure taking like a bit of a downfall, and it's not something that I'm particularly fond of. But if I had to choose a certain project from there or two, obviously it's going to be Moon Knight and the Spider-Man No Way Home movie, which was for sure the highlight of this saga or phase that we had, which was Phase 4. My thoughts on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was like my very, very first introduction to superheroes, particularly Spider-Man, obviously. I saw the first movie when I was like 5, and I had a Spider-Man themed party when I was like 7 or 6, I believe. And that was the epitome, I guess. That was like when Spider-Man was on top for me, at least in life. This person is asking my workout routine. I don't really have a set workout routine, but anytime I go to the gym or go outside, I tend to focus on a certain muscle group at a time. For me, Wednesday is the set leg day, so I never skip that, even if I really want to. I kind of just put myself through it because I kind of have to. What type of stories are your favorite? Type of stories are my favorite. I'd have to say science fiction or fiction in general, like fantasy. I think that they can create really wonderful and distinct worlds in which the readers can get themselves involved in and visualize. I like reading a lot, so definitely classes like English and stuff got me into more books and stories that I never heard of before. But such as Dune. I know it's a movie now, it's a really big movie, but before that it was a book. I read it all, it was long as hell, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that Dune was a very interestingly written story, and I've heard that it was the inspiration for really major science fiction stories or fantasy stories such as Star Wars. So I'm fairly certain that's correct, but if anyone out there knows for sure, I'd gladly take the actual answer to that. My favorite movies, series, books, or shows. My favorite series for sure has to be Supernatural. For those who aren't familiar with it, it's on Netflix. It's 15 seasons long, and the episodes are fairly long as well. I'm fairly certain you can guess what the topic of the show is or what it goes over. So if you'd like to give it a watch, I definitely say go for it. It's very good, at least in my opinion it is. My favorite foods, like chips or restaurants. My favorite chips are the Lay's lime chili ones. I just always love those for some reason. I don't know. And my favorite soda is nice Pepsi or Coke. I can't really live without it, to be honest, even though it's probably unhealthy to say. How tall am I? I'm 5'8" last time I checked, I believe. I'm fairly average size, I'd say. I don't think that's too short. I don't think that's too tall either, though. Conspiracy theory that I believe in. Oh god, I don't know if I really believe in any conspiracy theories. I tend to like stray away from most of them just because I don't want to like get involved in all of that sort of stuff. But I have heard some really compelling arguments for it, so I think some of them are really interesting. Are you going to have merch? No, I don't plan on having merch anytime soon, and even if I did have it planned, then I'd like not be willing to spend any money on it because I don't know what I could make merch. How old am I? I am 17 years old and counting. I turn 18 in August, if anyone wants to keep that on the calendar, I guess. What got you into your nerd ways? I feel like that's a bit of like an understatement or like a bit of a sarcastic question, but if you're referring to when I got into all of this like DC superhero stuff or like books and movies and shows and pop culture, I'd say just like living life got me into that. I just took a bigger interest in it than most people, to be honest, I think. Last couple of questions are, how long are your videos going to be? My videos are probably going to like vary. I don't really have a set time for how long I want to make them yet. I'm hoping to make them up to like 10 minutes long at least. The longest I'll probably be able to do is obviously going to be like 25 minutes. That's just because I don't have the proper equipment to record any longer than that yet. But once I do, I'll definitely start to like try my best in making longer equipment. What's the weirdest thoughts you've had? I'm not sure. Maybe like what would happen if I like opened the door on a busy highway and like just jumped out. That's pretty weird. Are you going to involve memes? I guess in a certain way I could add memes. What's content? It's just going to be a bunch of random content, to be honest. If that's your sort of thing, I hope you watch. It's going to be very fun, at least I think so. We're definitely going to be covering a ton of stuff like books, movies, shows, as previously mentioned, comics. But I believe that is all. What am I doing? I am currently recording this, hopefully not going to be messing up too often. I'm fairly confident in my ability to keep talking now, so hopefully that keeps me going for a fairly long time, I guess. Is the channel going to be for everyone? I'd say the channel's open to anyone. I'm going to try to keep like the cussing and the vulgar language down to a minimum, but I do get fairly aggressive when it comes to playing video games, so if I'm ever recording gameplay with friends or stuff, you're definitely going to be hearing quite a bit of screaming and maybe even like some vulgar language, I guess. What else do I got? I believe, oh nope, here's some more questions. Why am I gay? I'm not gay, whoever asked that, but thank you. And I am also not emo, at least I don't consider myself to be. That wraps up all of the questions that I got, to be honest. If you ever want to ask anything else, you're welcome to leave them in the comments. Anything other than that, you can just message me on my Instagram, whoever's watching. That's gonna be it though. Have a nice day, guys. I'll see y'all next time. Hopefully it doesn't take me too long to make a video next time. Bye.